Hello, can you hear me? All right, that's better. Hi. My name is Matt Costigan. I'm the principal for Michael Cleary's Showrooms and Spital Furniture. And I want to thank you for coming out today. We really appreciate it. And we're going to have Erinn V give a presentation, followed by refreshments and see some of her new product, which is amazing. So let me now, Erinn, come on up.
Hi, everyone. Is this working? Sounds like it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. So exciting to have such a full house. I hope you all find something interesting and intriguing and inspiring in today's presentation. And as much as I have plenty of slides to share with you on things that I find fascinating and how we can kind of look into the future and always make adjustments and progress in our own businesses, this is also a conversation. So if you want to jump in at any point, if you have questions, if you want to make a comment or share something, please feel free to do so. All right, let's see, clicker or... Okay, so today it's talking about, we're going to talk about our new consumer, understanding the millennial designer and their digital first client. I just missed millennial by 2 years. So understanding the digital evolution. So before we start talking about millennial shopping habits, and that can be not only our clients, but our teams, ourselves, the salespeople we're working with these days, right? I think it's important to understand the evolution of where we have come from in the digital space over the last 20 years and let that inform where we're going. So hopefully these insights inspire the way you look at your own business. I want to start with sharing a little bit about myself so that, hopefully you'll see some relevance there as to why you're here today joining us. So my evolution, version 1.0. I graduated from high school early. I took a test and got out in my junior year. I skipped college and I went straight to work. So I've been working like 6 days a week since I was 13. Very industrious, needed to go out and, do something. So I garnered a professional resume in the lifestyle space with brands like eBay, Maxwell House, Oprah, Betty Crocker, The Today Show, The View, etc., and helped write 2 books on home decor and style with Simon & Schuster in New York, and was designing a product line for Mervyn's, a big box retailer out on the West Coast, all before the age of 24, because I started early. My evolution version 2.0, I started a design firm when I was 24 years old, had $3,000 in my pocket, quit my job, and was like, I'm going to be a designer. Then in 2011, I opened a showroom to kind of debut our product line more broadly. We had a 5,000 square foot space on Robertson in LA for 3 years, and still have the furniture line today, which is at Michael Cleary's showroom, so I hope you'll all join us there afterwards. Our product is all handmade in Los Angeles. We sell to designers through our 9 multi-line showrooms that we're represented in across the country, fully customizable, made to order, mostly case goods and some upholstery, like our cute little London chair right here. And my evolution version 3.0. So I've spent the last 3 years getting into the tech space, building a software company called StyleRow to revolutionize the process of design. And I think, the relevance here for me is that I've had a design firm for 16 years. I've had a furniture brand, right? So on one hand, we're doing all the things designers do, placing orders, sourcing, tracking, administrative, budgets, nightmare of administration. And then on the other hand, I'm receiving orders from my showrooms and from designers, right? And I notice that we're all typing in the same data. It's kind of ludicrous, And then there's all of these like, well, did you get it? Did he get it? Did we order that? Did she build that? What are we doing? And we're using email for order management and, process management. That's not really what it's made for. And we're using a lot of software as designers that wasn't really made for the way we're using it, right? But we're constantly trying to adapt and communicate and streamline, but nothing was built for us. So I've spent 3 years learning the software industry, raising money from venture capitalists, and constantly with an eye on how can we streamline the process for the designer, our clients, and the vendors that we work with, our showrooms and our manufacturers. So throughout this presentation, I want you to keep in mind 2 things. 1, evolution of process, right? Everyone likes to talk about how much money they're making, but how much money are you losing? That really hit me. I thought that was such a great quote because it's true, right? You can either expand in one way, have more jobs, hire more people to do the work, and maybe make that profitable, Or you can look at your process and how you can streamline and reduce the amount of labor so you can take on more jobs without hiring more people or raising your costs, right? And second, we're in sales. It took me a long time as a designer to kind of recognize that I'm a salesperson, and I actually really was like, I'm not a salesperson, and for a long time. And then I realized, like, what a fool. I'm selling all day. I'm selling my ideas. I'm selling my process to contractors. I'm telling them why they should do it this way instead of that, right? It's a constant thing. Yet, how many of us have had sales training? Okay, like 10. So another great quote is, people buy feelings, not things. And I think that's obviously very relevant to what we do, right? Because on one hand, yes, we are in sales. We're selling design, aesthetic, we're selling our taste, we're selling our services though, and everything that comes with that. So our largest consumer audience, according to the Financial Times, millennials are the world's most powerful consumers. 2019 is the first year in US history that the number of millennials surpassed the number of baby boomers, the first digitally native generation. As baby boomers reach their maximum earning potential and enter retirement age, millennials are still young in their careers and only getting started in their accumulation of wealth. For all of us here in the luxury space, that's super relevant, right? By 2030, most millennials will be in their prime working and spending years. The way businesses can stay ahead of competition is to cater toward the millennial generation. That starts with a better understanding of their expectations and behaviors. So how do luxury brands and design companies grow with millennial consumers? By giving them digital freedom. The luxury market has grown at a staggering pace in recent years, yet luxury brands and businesses, right, and designers face serious challenges in the years ahead if they fail to engage millennial consumers on their own terms. So what does that mean? Don't make me wait, don't make me call you, and don't make me think too hard. You know? That is the idea. It's gotta be fast, it's gotta be easy, I want some understanding of what it is, and please just take care of it. So, clients are frustrated, I find, by broken processes and lack of transparency and efficiency in design today. This is only going to continue as our clients and our own teams have that idea, right? The digital face of your brand should be the most important aspect of your business. And it's not saying that design is changing. You know, we're still gonna run a creative process. We're not gonna build furniture any faster. We're not talking about that, but how can you make the process and the interaction smoother, easier, quicker? How can you build a repeatable process, right? And how can you put your brand out there, your design, your style, in a way that your consumers can receive it because it's how they want to receive it, you know? Your Instagram is now more important than your website. You know, that's changed. Used to be 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it was your website, your website, your website. Who even goes to someone's website anymore, right? You go right to your Insta. I mean, I've talked to parents who are saying, oh, let me show you my kids, and they pull up their Instagram. You know, it's not photos in a wallet anymore. It's let me show you my child's Instagram. It's like, whoa, like that really hit me as whole generations of sharing information in a different way. And that's all we're doing. We're using it as a beautiful visual place to share. So keeping in mind, if you want to engage with new consumers, what does the digital face of your brand look like? If you went to your Instagram, would you hire you? You know, put that hat on and look at it in a different way. By 2025, millennials will be 75% of the design office. That means that our own staff is engaging in a different way, but that's also great because they've been born with a phone in their hand, right? So they can help support your business in a different way. And millennial designers shop online first and frequent brands that make it easiest. I give a website like 3 seconds. If it doesn't give me what I want, I close it and I go somewhere else. So millennials avoid making phone calls like the plague, which I thought was cute. So how do we get here? Why is our largest consumer audience so impatient? So curious for behind the scenes details, so open to sharing and valuing experience over everything else. So to answer this, we're gonna go through a few different major brands that we all know about who were leaders in this process. So the digital evolution, the last 20 years. Google, launched in 1998, IPO'd in 2004, and that's pretty impressive, 6 years if you think about that, right? When we talk about speed, it's like those that get there faster win. They're on track to reach $1 trillion valuation, just behind Apple. But more importantly, I think they've had a 26% increase in revenue year over year, growing faster now than ever. We already know they are it, but they're still growing. I think that's exciting. I think that just shows how much more is out there for all of us, right? If we kind of get our business act together a little bit. And Google's mission statement is to organize the world's information and make it universally acceptable and useful. Which, as designers, how many of us find ourselves saying, oh, we have to educate our client, educate our client. Our job is to educate our client, right? That's what we're doing. We're sharing information. We're gathering all the beautiful stories in this building from showrooms and brands, and we are bringing that to someone who wants it, right? Or are we? Are you doing a good job educating your client? I know I could always do a better job. I know I could always have a better way to share that information with them that makes them feel comfortable, excited, and inspired to spend more, right? To do the whole house, not just the living room. Because once they get that feeling, they're not just buying things anymore, you know? And that's when they get really excited about the process. Oh. So why Google became so powerful? This is my opinion that as I have distilled down. I'm happy to share these slides with you afterwards if you want. I'll just email you the presentation. Knowledge, access, understanding, and speed. I think if you really break down any successful business, it comes down to kind of those 4 pillars. Google wasn't the first, but they did it the best. People want instant answers and quick access to knowledge about brands, about services. They're used to getting a complete view also. You know, these days you research anything, like we have an encyclopedia in our pocket. You know, when I was a kid, I wanted the Encyclopedia Britannica set like so badly. So badly. Couldn't afford it, like no chance in hell were we getting that, you know, a gorgeous book set in my family. But that's what I wanted because it's so exciting to learn, to know, to understand, to be able to access that information. And now we all walk around with it in our pockets. So it's no surprise, I think, that, you know, as much as you probably all collectively research things online first before you buy them, right? Even if you're getting a sweater, I'm at Bloomingdale's and I'm like searching from the dressing room to see if I can find it at a better price or find some more information on it or find the size that they don't have that I want, right? We're all doing it, yet when we come to business and work, I find that suddenly sometimes there's just a different reality of the way we want to share as a design professional, but yet we're all in the service business. So if you put yourself in the position of your client, what would you want from you? It really changes your perspective, I think. So data is no longer shielded, it's open to everyone. Welcome to the information age. Sharing is power, one to many. Communication is really just sharing, right? Social media is just sharing. I used to I did not want to be on social media. I was like, this is ridiculous for years, and I resisted, and then one day I realized it's just talking to people, you know, just sharing my opinion, sharing my work, and I do it for business because for me, it's free marketing. Why wouldn't you? You do a great job of it. If you want to share the kids and the dogs and the pizza you ate, fine. But if you want to grow your business, it's the largest, most incredible free marketing tool, right? Tech has merely crafted vehicles for our lives to help humans share from one-to-one to one-to-many, right? How many of us used to call our friends in high school and you'd spend hours on the phone telling a story? And then you call the other one, right? How many people did you talk to in 2 hours? 2, 1. Now you're able to post something and share to thousands, tens of thousands. And that's why tech is so scalable and can go like that and can grow your business because you're just sharing from, instead of one-to-one, one-to-many. Same with clients. Instead of having 1 project or 2 projects, right? You can now share that with so many more people. So how can we distill down 10 years of knowledge into 10 minutes of understanding? That's basically what it kind of comes down to, especially with millennials. How can you create tools that allow your teams to share on a broader stage? How can you share your work, your voice? And how can you distill down massive amounts of information into bite-sized pieces? I mean, think of all the product that's even in this building. Overwhelming, right? Gorgeous, exciting. It'd be great if we could all just mill about all day and hear the stories, but that's just not practical. So how do you take that and then bring it into your office where it becomes a repeatable process? You can save that information and give it out to your clients as needed. So the why. Why is software eating the world? Has anybody heard of this article by Mark Andreessen? It came out 10 years ago, 2011, 8 years ago. Mark Andreessen of Andreessen Horowitz is one of the largest venture capital firms in the world. Really fascinating, has an amazing background in being a successful entrepreneur, built this big business, and then started investing in companies. So I would encourage you to read this. It's a fun read too. It's an article called Why is Software Eating the World? You know, why is it so popular? Why has it shifted the way we communicate and the way we learn? After all, our industry is all about communicating for commerce. sharing knowledge to sell products, educating our clients. So this is, I've got, I think, 4 or 5 reasons here. Reason number 1, I see it, is that tech is help. The entire tech industry is about bringing service, helping someone, solving a pain point, adding value, creating impact. One thing that I've loved so much about moving into the software world is that this is so true. I mean, every business owner, person that works at a company I talk to, they're like, how can I help? And they genuinely want to, and they do. You know, let me know how I can add value. That's what I hear a lot. And they want to. It's not like a normal thing to be offering up to your competitors or anybody else, right? Like, how can I help you? What can I do to make your day better? Who do you need to know that I might know, right? But that's the whole industry's focus. And if you look at why it's such a successful industry, I think that is a huge piece of it, is because they're willing to share. They're willing to help. They're willing to do something. And with software, you can do it more than that one-to-one, right? You can now do it one-to-many. So a repeatable process to help people improve their lives is what tech is there for. And that's really powerful. Fundamentally, technology has at its core the complete focus on constantly improving the customer experience. How many of us as designers think about improving our customer experience? I don't see any any heads going, me, very much, right? Like, but that's just true. I didn't. I'm a designer. I'm fabulous. I have great taste. Like, you guys should just be thankful to me. I'm doing your job, right? But that's not really why they're hiring you, right? They're hiring you for service. Yes, they're hiring you for taste, but there's a lot of people that have great taste. So what is it about your service that is going to make them come back, make them refer you to their friends, make them go, this was such a phenomenally awesome process? I mean, I know a lot of clients that spend a lot of money on their home, and they go, by the end, they're like, oh, woof, this is exhausting. This was painful. I love my designer. I love my house, but I wouldn't refer her to my best friend. Our referrals are the majority of our business. So as an industry, I think that we owe it to all of ourselves and the showrooms and brands that we sell, because we are the front line sales team for everybody in this building. Us, you know, it's our job to do a better job. It's our job to take on more projects so we can be more successful and our industry can scale, because we're buying more product from the brands and showrooms in this building. So innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity, not a threat. Steve Jobs, right? Opportunity, not a threat. Reason number 2, tech is freedom. The internet offers access to knowledge. What's Google doing? They're just categorizing knowledge and sharing it, right? Made them the biggest company in the world. Self-education is topping $355 million a day. That's what's spent online to learn right now. And it's growing to $1 billion a day by 2025. It's in a couple years, right? That's incredible. Today's billionaires all have one thing in common. They invested heavily in their own ability to learn. They're always learning. They're always innovating. They're always figuring out how they can get better. They're figuring out how they can help make their customers' journey more successful. Time is money, especially in a service business, right? I mean, that's typically how all of us bill. We can't create more time, or can we? It goes back to that first question of, we focus on what we're making but not what we're losing. How can we build a repeatable process in our companies to lose less time, right? Because then you're instantly more profitable. And all you've had to do is innovate and look at how you're doing your interior of your company. The process is there. Now, reason number 3, tech is speed. When it goes back to the millennials, right? Now, faster, faster, faster. Amazon, deliver today. I mean, right? 3 seconds on a website, I'm exhausted, I close it. We all do it. I think, yet when we come to business, we're like, well, people should just wait. You know? And we get this kind of like stubborn attitude of, this is a process and it takes time. Again, people will wait for the product. They will wait for good design. But you need to explain that process, give them transparency, and then make the painful parts faster, right? And that's where we all make more money. The wasted time on sourcing, the wasted time on order follow-up, the wasted time taking a Pinterest board and putting it into Keynote and putting it into Excel and putting it into an invoicing platform and putting it back in Excel to track. It's a nightmare. Who does that? We all do it. It's a nightmare, right? So much wasted time. I encourage you all, if you don't already, to look at what your business, what you do all day, and track your own time for the day. Do it for a couple of weeks. It's really painful. It's a pain in the butt. Set an alarm. Get an app called T-Sheets, or there's plenty of them out there that are free. And make your whole team do it too. And look at what people are actually doing all day. You know, that's what got me to build the company StyleRow that I'm building now. Is I was watching my design firm and I was like, oh my God, we're just glorified data entry people. We're just taking stuff from one place to the other, and then no wonder it takes so long and our clients get frustrated. You know, we don't have the data in the way that they're asking for it. It takes us hours or days to get it to the way they want it, instead of being able to just click a filter and be like, there's your report, right? And then as a furniture brand, we're retyping orders too, and we're moving it from one system to process to another system to track down through production to another system for emails to another system for this. I'm like, this is ludicrous. We're all just wasting so much time on this back office process, and it's not helping our business. It's not moving things forward. It's not innovating. It's not marketing. It's not helping us grow. It's just like a black hole of time. So the speed of particle flow alone equals power. The faster particles can move, the better you can do. The more power your business gains, the more power your life gains. I mean, look at Amazon, right? Their whole thing was first about sharing information quickly, so you can find all the chairs or all the sofas or all the, not sofas, we don't buy furniture on Amazon, take it back. The detergent, right? Whatever it is, quickly, and you can look at a lot. And now it's about speed. Speed, 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 speed. That's why they're successful. So how can we speed up our process? You know, not the creative side, not making the stuff faster, but the rest of it. So you could do 2 projects in the time it takes you to do 1. You could do 3 projects in the time it takes you to do 1. Holding on to slow process will not bode well for businesses in the next 10 years. I mean, just even think about 5 years ago. Like, it was a different world from a technology standpoint, from how we rely on it, from what we do. I didn't Postmates my food 3 years ago. I Postmates 5 nights a week now, you know? I'm not gonna go walk to a restaurant for lunch, that's crazy. To work, get it delivered. So business has only 2 functions, marketing and innovation. This is Peter Drucker. Who knows who he is? So I didn't know who he was either, but he's an Austrian-born American philosopher, author, and educator, who's really kind of known as the father of modern day business. He's fascinating. You know, if you look at any of the big successful companies, the Steve Jobs, et cetera, they all learned from Peter Drucker. So this, I think, is incredibly relevant, but how many of us in this room think about our business really only having 2 functions, marketing and innovation? That's typically not what we're thinking, right? So innovate, change, evolve. How can it be better? How can I help my clients? How can it be faster? How can it be more pleasurable? How can I stand out? How can I innovate, innovate, innovate? And then talk about it, marketing, right? Social media, sharing. I mean, it all boils down to the exact same things that we keep seeing time and time again in all these success stories of these other companies. And I think that it's actually not that hard to make tweaks within your daily, you know, business to also experience great growth and success. But we first have to try, and then we have to do it, right? You can't go back to your same process and say, well, it didn't work, or, you know, do the same thing and expect a different result. That's literally the definition of crazy, you know? So reason number 4, tech is innovation. The phone book could have been Google, but they didn't innovate. People will always want the phone book. They're always gonna wanna flip to a page and go down and guess which Peter Smith they're looking for, right? It's insane. Knowledge, access, understanding, speed. Those same 4 things. And number 5, tech is value. Communication and the speed of it determines how quickly you can get the job done. Employees that can sell more in a short period of time are more valuable than those that take longer to do the same job. Employees that get quick answers and accurate quick answers are more valuable than those that are slow and inaccurate, right? So if we are a service business to our clients, it's one way to look at it and apply that outward. It's another to also look internally and make adjustments as needed. And internally, I mean into yourself, but also to your office. For millennial designers and their digital-first clients, our businesses need to function the same way. Bring them what they want quickly and accurately, and they will come back and buy more. Take a long time and cause hassle and mistakes, and they just won't be back. Who goes back to a restaurant that has bad service? Right? The food's awesome. You're like, oh, never going back there. That waiter was terrible. Is it really like the chef's fault that the waiter was terrible? No. We're all waiters, right? Like, we can create this gorgeous meal, but if the delivery of such is poorly done or poorly executed, clients don't come back. Only 1 in 10 that could hire a designer does. So I see it as we have 9 other humans out there waiting for our services. That's exciting. That's growth. So what are you doing to market to those other 9? Reason number 6, tech is repeatable. Software helps you build a repeatable process. Source it once, shop it from forever. Get the things you love, make them in a way that you can share them quickly, and you're not constantly looking at the same catalogs. You're not constantly doing the same thing. You're not constantly moving that data back and forth, right? How can you build a repeatable process? This not only allows your customers more time, but it allows you to bring them value. They will come back to companies that bring them value and make their lives easier. Designers on a fixed fee need this more than anything else. I mean, how much of our time do we spend working on a project that you can't bill? A lot, I think. And especially when something goes wrong, right? Then you just stop the clock and now you are just losing money, right? It is just getting sucked. Even if you don't have to buy something, right? Like I had to replace some windows recently. That was painful. You know, I have 2 sofas. I only needed 1. Somehow, someone on my team ordered 2, right? That sucks. But what about all the 8 months I had to fix this project because the contractor did it wrong, right? Or something like that. Or other issues go on. And just instantly your profit just catapults, right? We're not on a big profit margin anyway, typically. So it's like, that is scary. So a repeatable process, you know, really, really looking at what are we doing every day and how can we make our 8-hour process 6. And then once it's at 6, how can we make it 5? And then once it's at 5, how can we make it 4.5? Right? How can we make it easier? How can we make it faster? So learning points from Google. How can you organize your office's information and make it universally accessible and useful? How can you offer up answers faster with a repeatable process? How can you make the process of design easier to understand, easier to navigate for your clients, and easier to interact with? I was just in San Francisco at this big design office, and she has this beautiful client onboarding packet. I've never seen anything like this. Gorgeous folder with her logo embossed. You open it up, and inside there are 4 pieces of paper, each cut shorter than the other, so you could read the tab. What? And the first one is where time is spent on design. It's a pie chart. It's like 20%, you know, creative, 30% order management, 30%, you know, construction management, blah, blah, blah. So her clients can understand the process and know what they're getting in for and understand where the time goes. It's fascinating. And then the next one was the emotional journey, you know, and it was this like graph from like starting the project, going through construction to the party that you have when the house is done, you know, and again, illustrating for them, this is the emotional ride you're going to be going in. It starts high and it goes low and then it gets high again. I mean, I always tell my clients, like, there's the ugly duckling stage, like, don't freak out, right? When, like, you've ripped out some stuff or some new stuff is coming in, but it's not all there and they start to get nervous, right? I mean, there is that curve of emotional roller coaster, but the fact that she lays that out up front in a beautiful packet that they can keep and refer to, this is amazing. You know, it's transparency, and then there's a couple others there too. And so I just, you know, challenge you all to think about what have you done to make your services faster, repeatable, easier to navigate, and more visible online. That's where people are looking for you. They're on Instagram. Does your Instagram say, hire me? I'm a great designer with great taste and amazing service? I don't know, maybe it does. That's awesome. Learning points from Google also. How are you making it easier for your clients to buy through you than anywhere else? Right? We all complain like, oh, e-commerce is like changing things. This building is not online to be sold quickly, right? They still have to come to you for all this gorgeous product. It's handmade, it's artisanal. There's a reason for that. So making sure that you're educating your clients up front. I mean, the moment I tell a client RH is the Banana Republic of furniture, they stop asking for it. You know? They go, oh. I give them a simple analogy that they can understand and relate to. You want H&M, you want banana. There's nothing wrong with banana. I love H&M. But do you want that? Do you want that same sweater that everyone else has on the block, you know? Or do you want something that's gonna last longer, not be filled with chemicals, be better when your dog chews on the table, and that your child is, you know, laying on that sofa every night? Educating the client, but giving them that little bit of information, and it makes it a lot easier than to sell custom, beautiful, handmade, artisanal products, if that's what you want. Sometimes you know, I buy mirrors from them, I buy sconces from them. I make furniture, so I don't buy any furniture from them. But, you know, I think it's again about having those little stories as an arsenal in your pocket so that you can fire back with that great shift of understanding. Because again, they're buying feelings. They're not buying things. And when I hear designers complain about that, I'm like, dude, that's like such an easy way. You know, and Eric Chang said that from Hellman Chang. He's a great marketer. I don't know if you've ever seen him. I mean, beautifully dressed, right? And he was like, yeah, it's Banana Republic of furniture. And then they're like, oh, so where's Barney's, Bendel's, and Bergdorf's? We're in it, right? And you don't always need that. You need things for lower priced projects, guest rooms, guest houses, third homes, right? It's not all Gucci and Prada and Dior. But people love to aspire, and they also love to have a story to tell around the product. And I think that is very relevant for services, is to let them understand that designer discount, it's not yours, it's mine. That's how I run a business. It's a huge service. There's all this time that you won't see, right? And educate them up front. And that's what that designer in San Fran did with her beautiful little packet. She's like, the creative is 20%. The rest is 80% administrative. And we are gonna take that on for you and give you a gorgeous house. Just know that we know what we're doing, and that's what you're paying for. If you don't wanna pay for service, order it yourself, install it yourself, figure it out yourself. You know, sure, I'll sell you a design. And that's it. Don't call me when the sofa doesn't fit through the door. So, looking at how we sell and the fact that we are salespeople and we are selling goods to make a living, I think it's kind of interesting to look at the evolution of the marketplace online, right? What's a marketplace? It's a place where a lot of product is sold, right? Amazon, Bloomingdale's, they've aggregated all these brands and they're selling it, right? The first marketplace was like a phone book, Craigslist. You know, then it morphed, each of these categories kind of morphed and broke out into more robust versions of themselves. So instead of just a black and white listing now, you've got Zillow for real estate, you've got Tinder for dating, you've got, you know, Indeed and Upwork for work and ZipRecruiter, you got Airbnb for apartment rentals. Then each of these categories grew further to offer more services. The new generation of marketplaces are growing into the high-touch service industry. That's us. Laurel and Wolf, right? Home Polish. All of these companies that are trying to be a high-touch service but actually aren't, which I kind of laugh when people like, if they ask me about my company, is StyleRow, you know, like Laurel and Wolf? I'm like, no, we are services for interior designers. That's low-cost digital design services. I'm not a digital design firm, right, who's cutting out all the service and trying to make a profit on this type of thing. No, that's crazy. But that's hitting our industry now. So our clients are going to be like, well, what about this? And why can't I do it that way, right? So it becomes even more important to expand on the value proposition that we bring as professionals, as artists, etc., to the project. So marketplace basics. Keep it simple, stupid. Information overload can be paralyzing. Millennials want quick responses, but they don't want to spend too much time sifting through tons of sources to find the right product or service to purchase. So how can we present beautiful design, make it easier, make it understanding, right? For my furniture line, we used to have like 45 finish options, all these levels, and it was just a lot. And then the more we have streamlined our offering, the more we've cut out products that aren't selling, the more we have dropped finishes that aren't being asked for, we sell more. Because of this, it's just easier. We now price all our walnut and oak at the same cost. All of our finishes at that level, right? I lose more on some and I make more on some. But it's a wash. But if my client, the designer, doesn't have to go get a new quote just to change the color of the legs, that's so stupid, you know? Waste the showroom's time, waste the client's time, and then you don't even buy the chair. Right now, everybody's time has been completely wasted. So how can you make your offering more streamlined? 90% of millennials research product reviews online before making a purchase. This is just gonna get worse. We all do it, and now they do it even more. It's just gonna keep happening. So like, let's get ahead of it, right? So what does that mean for us? Streamline your offering, make it easy to understand, offer all the knowledge up digitally. How many leave the client with a beautiful digital presentation that they can share with their friends at lunch? 8, 6? That's awesome. But think about that. If the client is at lunch with their friend and you're doing their living room, do they have something that they can scroll through on their phone and be like, oh my God, look at this beautiful design. And the friend is like, oh, I want that coffee table too. Who's your designer? That's like free marketing and advertising, right? But typically we do the dog and pony show in the office or their house and we take it all back. You know, and we just send them an invoice. Pay for that. Eventually you'll get a house. It sucks. If you were spending $200,000 on your house or 500 or $1 million, would you want that process too? It's crazy. The answer is no. And how are we letting them sell for us, right? What tools can you give them to inspire them to organically share with your potential new clients also? Okay, mobile habits. 2.38 billion monthly active users on Facebook. This is an 8% increase year over year. I'm not a Facebook fan, haven't been in a long time, find it very overwhelming. A lot of people are, but the point is, it's growing. It's growing. They're there. They're looking. It's not an accident that the redesign of Facebook is being released on mobile apps first. Facebook makes 90% of its advertising revenue from mobile users. Our clients are on their phones. They're interacting with our projects on their phones, right? It's not enough to even just be desktop anymore. You don't have to be mobile. How are you presenting to them to allow them to approve on their phone, get excited to buy something and just go click, 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 I love it, Erinn, do it, and to share with their client, their friends, your potential new clients on your phone, right? It's a whole new thing, but that's the way people shop. Instagram has 1 billion monthly active users. More than 500 million people log into their Instagram accounts daily. It's a lot of people that could hire you. 64% of users are between 18 and 34. So if your audience fits in that bracket, you kind of need to be on Instagram if you want to get noticed. 60% of users first heard about a product on Instagram. They're shopping. It's commerce. The way we sell is changing, right? We haven't even begun as an industry to think about selling on Instagram, right? That might sound like, that's crazy. That'll never happen. It's happening and it's going to happen. It's already here. We just have not, it hasn't hit us yet because we're high touch, right? But the marketplace, literally, it showed you, it has evolved and it's hitting us now. And these habits, this will come as a wave. So how do we get ahead of it? 30% of users bought something they discovered on Instagram. 78% of big retail brands have shoppable Instagram accounts. So it's just something I think fascinating to look at. Oh, cool, exciting. How can we make that possible, you know? A B2B gold mine, I think this is very relevant for all of us, is LinkedIn. This is where the people with the money are. This is where the professionals are. We all think about Instagram and Facebook to market ourselves too, right? But LinkedIn is the gold mine. It's the most used social media platform among Fortune 500 companies and their employees who hire us. So of the 2 billion millennials globally, 87 million of them are on LinkedIn. That's a lot. So what I think we have is a very solvable problem. It's just the lack of evolution of process, right? A long process means it costs money. Human time is the heaviest burden a business feels. Think about a client who has to pay for their designer so much for administration, right? If you were in their shoes, would you want to pay us to be invoicing and transferring data back and forth and making phone calls to follow up on stuff? That's not sexy, right? That's kind of lame. Then think about the showroom that's spending all those countless hours on follow-up with you as well, right? And you're calling them and they're calling the brand and it's just so much kind of wasted time for all of us. So how can we set up our businesses from the beginning, the epicenter, to run smoother, run faster, which means sales teams can actually sell, designers can design without such a huge administrative burden. That's the problem we're solving with StyleRow. Transparency and communication make for a successful relationship, right? That's what we all want with our vendors. Just be honest with me. Tell me the real truth. When is it coming? What's the problem, right? But do we look at our client relationship that same way? Typically not as much, right? But the ones that are really successful do. They educate them right from the beginning and throughout the process. It's a whole new world. And those are typically the clients that come back because they understand. So the client's general opinion is there's a lot of opacity in this industry due to old process and poor communication. Both of those things are totally fixable. So the time is now. Designers are the frontline sales team for our industry. We need to provide a frictionless purchase process with digitized selling tools so that clients have a better experience with the luxury design industry. You know, I think that would be so exciting if those 1 in 10 that do hire a designer does. What happens when we get 2 in 10? What happens when we get 3 in 10? We could all be doubling and tripling our business, right? And referrals are 90% of our business, yet only 1 in 10 that could hire a designer does. So if we can all do more projects, this whole building sells more product. That's one way we can help the whole industry scale, right? Is by doing better ourselves, having a more successful firm yourself, doing 2 projects instead of 1, doing 10 instead of 5, doing 30 instead of 15. right? That's what really lifts and is the rising tide for the whole industry. I see a lot of articles about like, oh, the trade's going away, or is the trade going? I'm like, that's ridiculous. Why is that even a topic? Like, why are we focusing on that? That's so silly. Let's focus on the fact that there's 9 other potential humans out there to hire us, right? That's amazing. That's help. That's gonna lift us all up together and make us all more profitable and hopefully have a lot more fun in the process. So the good news, tech means a growing luxury market, right? 20 years ago, was everyone a billionaire? No, but now it seems like that's all you hear about, right? Is billionaires. So since 2000, the number of millionaires globally has grown 170%. It's huge. While the number of high net worth individuals over 50 million has multiplied 5-fold. The money is out there. There are so many people with money, and they want to hire professionals to do a great job for them, right? There are 36 million millionaires worldwide, and by 2022, their number is expected to increase to 22%. One need they all share is decorating their home, or in many cases, their multiple homes. That's from a Forbes article. That's awesome, right? There's so much business out there for all of us. Before I get into that, anybody have any questions? Have I talked too long? You're still awake. Cool. So I'll quickly show you what we've built with StyleRow. I'm going to be in Michael Cleary. Feel free to come by. We can give you a demo down there. We can show you all of our beautiful collection. They've got cheese and snacks, so join us. So for building a repeatable process, the whole focus of the tools we're building for designers is to help get that administrative burden off of you, help you build repeatable processes with your projects. So what does that mean? The internet kind of replaced the way we source product, right? It wiped out our physical libraries in our offices. We don't want those catalogs on the shelf anymore. But we don't have a digital library to keep all the product that we love digitally. I mean, I have 26,000 photos in my iPhone of stuff I want to sell to my clients, right? Pictures. We come into a showroom, what do? Snap, 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 snap. But how do you tag that you saw that in Michael Cleary so that in 6 months later you know where you were without wasting time digging and calling, is this your chair? That looks like the Cleary floor. Was this your, what is this, right? I mean, we all do it. It's silly. We laugh because that's what we do. But again, think about the time waste, right? So now we've built a digital library. So this is a free tool. You've got a product library where you can upload all your pictures. You can tag them so you can easily find them later. There's also a clipper tool that'll follow you around the web, and you can pull product from vendor websites into your library. The concept being curate it once, shop it forever, right? Stop going to websites you go to all the time and scrolling through the same 500 lamps to find the 3 that you like. It's a waste of time. We've also got an inspiration library that allows you to suck all your Pinterest images out into it so that you can make it actually a workable tool, right? Because Pinterest wasn't built for sharing. It wasn't built for tracking client approvals. It wasn't built for feedback, but that's kind of how a lot of us use it, right? And we need just a visual way to share our work. And then you can see a team feed of everything that your team has been saving, liking, sharing, adding to projects. So then you can come in, so you're like, okay, great, I need a new console for a project. I'm gonna go to my library, I'm gonna hit consoles. There's everything I already love. You don't forget product. And then we've got a projects tool. So this is like Pinterest with a purpose. You can separate by rooms. This has got all the words kind of turned off so you can look at it in a very visual way. And then you can also hit a button and have team collaboration, communication, approvals, filtering. What have I ordered? What have I not ordered? What's the lead time? What's not the lead time? Here's the chat. You can chat with your team. You'll be able to chat with your vendors in your showrooms all from there. So it's like mission control for your projects.
Erinn, can you share that file with your clients?
You will be able to, yeah. You'll be able to send them a beautiful digital presentation where you can send it for inspiration, you can send it for approval, like, hey, please approve these sofas. And they can thumbs up, thumbs down, they can comment right from there so that you're tracking all that collaboration in one space that your whole office can access. It's not in your email, it's not in my phone, it's not in his, right? We spend so much time in a design office also just finding where the data is. Who emailed the showroom for the quote, right? Who sent it back? Was it Tim, John, Susie, Sam? Like, right?
I have a question. Does this new platform allow for invoicing as well? So they're tracking hours?
Not yet, but it will. So up front, we're doing all the creative. The question was, does it allow for invoicing? We're doing that, solving that front end of the creative process, right? Where do you save all the products that you've already sourced? You sourced 20 sofas for a project. client buys one. Where do you put the data for those 19 so you can sell them again next time, right? And not have to do that same process again. And collaborate and share. You know, I would like to avoid ever having to write a fixture schedule again. It's ridiculous. It takes hours, right? We've got the data. It's just not in the format that the architect, the builder, or the electrician wants. So we spend tons of time futzing around in Excel, right? Or like putting together a combined PDF. It's ridiculous. It's a time waste. So with this, if you've got your project in there, it's already tagged by the type of product it is. The system knows what's lighting, right? Because you've told it it's lighting. And you hit one button. There's all the lighting in your project, room by room. And if you put a PDF or, you know, a spec sheet in there as well, which would say, again, do it once, do it right up front, and then you have all these rapid efficiencies. We have a marketplace coming as well. So the first true e-commerce for the trade, luxury brands and showrooms that are in this building. Online, so you can get a price. You can click to get a standard quote instantly, and then you can message with your reps and showrooms through the platform, so that you track all that work-related information in one place, and it's not spread out in everybody's email. Because email is not for order management. It is not for project management, but that's how we're using it right now. And then all orders processed through the marketplace will basically be in the system tracking itself. So it's like the best digital assistant that you don't have to pay for or buy lunch for. And allowing you to set auto follow-ups, right? Like you shouldn't have to think, oh, the table's done in 8 weeks, let me call them in 6. Tech should be doing that for you. It should know the lead time is 8 weeks, so now I'm gonna ping the showroom at 6. I'm gonna ping the brand at 6. Hey, is this order coming? Whoop, and they can just reply right to it, right? So that's where we're going with this. Yep.
Is that going to be interactive with vendors that aren't up to speed with this type of technology?
Yes. So you will be able to message and use this as like your mission control, your project, and you'll be able to communicate with any vendors through this, just like you email them. So the concept really being that instead of being like, I need to talk about these sconces, I'm going to go to email. Yeah, the sconces in the billiards room of this project, blah, 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 right? You can just do it right from there, right from the project. And then share drawings and share everything that you need to with workrooms, with vendors, with your clients, your teams, so that everyone also has one place to access that project. Because I see designers really as like the leader of the football team, right? We're like the quarterback, and we're running this huge team down the field, right? And so all these vendors and subcontractors and our team underneath us needs to be able to access that data that we have, but we have it in so many different places. It's really not that easy to access it, right? And we spend so much time in shifting data back and forth. So if you put all your data in one place and allow your electrician to get the, you know, things he needs, allow your contractor, allow your client to access, and with all the client-facing tools, you'll have complete control over what they see, the pricing, and also shares and shows.
Erinn, how's mobile friendly?
It will be very mobile friendly. It's a desktop solution first because, you know, it's a work tool for us. But we do have an extension for your phone. So if you go into like your Photos app and you want to share photos or whatever, you can hit that little share button and put them right into your library, and then we'll build out a full app as well soon.
When will we know when this is launched?
So we have about 1,300 designers on our wait list, and we're getting them in this week, starting at 100 and stepping it out. So probably by mid to late this month, we'll be accepting new users. So you can sign up on the wait list. It's free all year to use. The library will always be free. And then the projects tool will be a subscription.
As far as the library goes, is there any way that it knows when products have been discontinued?
From our marketplace, it will. So that's also the part of the why I even created a marketplace was, one, as a furniture brand, I want to connect with designers, right? I want to make my product data accessible 24 hours a day. But also, if you pull something into your project and then we discontinue that item as a marketplace, right? The brand says that's no longer there, or the price changes.
Right.
It can push all that, what normally takes tons of time, push all that instantly into your library and into your projects.
How does this compare with like my Doma, Ivy, Food Studio Design?
So I see, you know, Ivy and Studio are really invoicing software, right? That's QuickBooks. They have some project management features, of course, but I mean, I don't see them as collaborative visual communication tools. That's what this is, right? This is where you start in the beginning of your project and allows you to organize that data in just a different way. I haven't used my Doma. I think it's kind of a visual tool, right, as far as I understand. But I think we're one of the first companies to bring actual powerful technologists to our industry to solve this problem. I raised capital from some of the biggest VCs in San Fran. Our CTO has a company that has 200 developers on staff in Belarus. So we've brought incredible technologists to the table to help solve our industry's issues so that we can just work faster, smarter, not harder. And it'll export to QuickBooks, and we're going to talk to Studio about doing an export to them because it's such a robust platform, right? But the way we solve issues is just different. It's supposed to be streamlined and easy and simple, and you shouldn't need a user manual to figure out how to do it. It's like that. My goal is that it's Apple intuitive, and you can just open it up and be like, oh, like Pinterest. There's a reason we go back to Pinterest and Excel, right? Excel lets you just do everything. You don't have to like save and edit every single time. When you're doing that 300 times, it's exhausting. Yeah.
What do you do with the data that you collect on us, though?
We're not collecting data on you. There's privacy policies in place, so we don't know which users are which.
Okay, so you're not collecting like this many chairs are selling in the Northwest, or this many are selling in Chicago, or...
Well, from a brand standpoint, they will be able to access analytics for their company, what's being saved, what's being hearted, what's being presented, but they won't know by who.
Does this replace an Ivy or an IDOMA or Design Manager? Do you need both?
Until we build enough to have our own invoicing, you would need both. But I see this as, even if you're using those projects, like first you're typically building out inspiration somewhere, right? Where is that? Then you're saving products. How do you quickly just bring them in? How do you present to a client? It's typically in Keynote, Excel, or PowerPoint, or InDesign, right? We're doing beautiful presentations. So we have a budgeting and a presentations tool. And then we're usually running a budget in Excel or Google Doc first before you put all that data into a Studio or an Ivy or QuickBooks, right? Because why would you waste all that time building out a project if the client doesn't go for it? So that whole upfront, the bulk of that work, and then the sharing amongst your team. As an owner, I want to be able to look at my project and know what's happening. I don't have that transparency in any of those platforms and with any of the data because it's in everybody's email and I can't get to it, right? So the idea of this is that we streamline the collaboration, and around work, if I go to my project, there'll be statuses here as well, double-sided client-facing status, internal status. Client paid me 50%. This is on order, right? I can at a glance see and troubleshoot and then see what the communication has been instead of asking my 5 team members, like, who emailed this and what are they saying? Go back through your email, right?
Do you have a tool for when you will be able to maybe do all of those things?
So I like to say, we've put in the foundation, built some walls. There's got to be plumbing and electrical before we can put on the roof,
So
next year probably.
Okay.
But it's going to get better every 2 weeks. We're on a 2-week sprint release, so every 2 weeks the technology gets better. Every 2 weeks we build features. It's even just as the library side. I mean, this will save you so much time if you spend the time curating it. It's amazing. Yeah.
How do I get on your subscription list? And when does the clock for the 12 months start?
The clock will start January when we start charging, or when you sign up at that point. So for now, it's just free for the end of the year.
And then so how do I get on there?
Go to StyleRow.com.
StyleRow.com.
Yep, and you can. There's the logo, StyleRow, on the left. We're also doing a London chair giveaway. I didn't even know. Follow us at Erinn the Official, and come to Michael Cleary and at Michael MC Showrooms to register. You have to be on this event RSVP list to participate. So come to the showroom, check us out, say hi, and then you can enter to win this lovely chair. Thanks, everyone.
We are cutting.